Welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gaman Singh. In our top story, the VI Police Department has released an artist's sketch of a suspect, the man they believe is responsible for gunpoint rapes that occurred on the east end of St. Thomas. For many who viewed and shared the sketch via print or social media, although they say it took months, they are relieved to finally see one. And they say hopefully with the help of the community, they can see the suspect behind bars. The Virgin Islands Police Department is currently investigating a series of sexual assaults that have occurred in the East End area of St. Thomas. The attacks appear to be possibly connected to a number of sexual assaults, according to VIPD, that occurred in the vicinity of Estate Friedenhoy between August 15, 2016 and January 24, 2017.
The suspect is described as a black male, approximately 5 feet 5 inches, between 18 and 25 years old, about 125 to 130 pounds, Caribbean accent, slim built, no beard, flat nose, low haircut, slight mustache.
Community meetings were held, the most recent on Tuesday. Residents sounded off, and law enforcement officials gave updates on the rapes, as well as some reported home invasions. The VIPD offers some safety tips.
If you have a glass sliding door, replace the metal pole or stick or in the tracks of the door. If you're moving into a new apartment, request for your locks to be changed. Be aware of what you put on social media. Information can disclose your location to the wrong individuals. Always have some means of personal self-defense. Always lock your door when you're home, especially if you're alone. Be aware of environment at all times, especially at night or when alone. Always have your keys at hand when entering your car or your residence. Don't make your home easily accessible for prowlers by leaving chairs, ladders, or any object that can be used as a tool to jump on or hop over into your residence.
And police also add, if you have any information that can assist, please call the Criminal Investigation Bureau, Crime Stoppers, or dial 911. Well, police say these sexual assaults in these incidents have been taking place inside of an apartment or a single-family residence. In each of these cases, the female victim was reported alone in and outside the residence. The suspect has entered each residence through an unlocked door or awaits the victim outside the residence. WAPA's Executive Director Julia Reimer Sr. explained an update. The rescission of the rate increase violated the Sunshine Act and the 10-day statutory notice requirement that the PSC must comply with before holding a meeting on the issue. He said the PSC also acted in violation of previous Superior Court rulings WAPA obtained in 2006, requiring the 10-day notice of a PSC meeting given to WAPA, along with the opportunity to be heard at meetings of the Commission. Here's more.
Reimer said that contrary to the press release issued Tuesday by the Public Services Commission and published in daily newspapers as a letter to the editor, the authority does not challenge the right of the PSC to set rates. Instead, the utility challenges the right of the Public Services Commission to deny WAPA its due process rights when the PSC takes actions that are contrary to the rule of law. The WAPA Executive Director also said that the authority is committed to bringing about meaningful change in the cost of electricity. He said we are on a path with a plan to introduce new, more efficient, reliable, and right-sized generators to our power plants. What leaves us all at a loss is the about-face the PSC did on January 26th when it reversed the rate increase it granted to WAPA 2 weeks before. The same rate increase that the Public Services Commission and its consultants signed off on last year, November. This week's news release and editorial by the Public Services Commission failed to acknowledge that the vote to rescind the rates granted on January 12th stemmed from the fact that Commission members became angry when the authority filed a petition asking the PSC to reconsider a LEAC order the Commission had entered in December of last year. Reimer said that is what has brought us to this juncture, the anger of the Commission at the authority for exercising its lawful right to appeal a PSC decision through the filing of a petition for reconsideration. This process, he said, is similar to appealing a court decision. A verdict or judicial ruling can be appealed. In this instance, any PSC decision is subject to appeal or reconsideration by WAPA through the filing of a petition for reconsideration.
Meanwhile, the PSC says as a result of the filing of the reconsideration petition, the January 26 order rescinding the approval of the interim base rate increase is stayed, while the January 12 order authorizing the increase remains in effect temporarily. Here's more from the PSC.
As a result of the filing of the reconsideration petition, the January 26 order rescinding the approval of the interim base rate increase is stayed, while the January 12 order authorizing the increase remains in effect temporarily. If the Commission does not act within 30 days, that's ending March 2nd, the petition is deemed denied by operation of law. The stay is ended, and WAPA would no longer be entitled to bill any increase based on the January 12 order after March 2nd. If WAPA intends to proceed with that rate increase, we assume that the authority intends to fully comply with the interim rate agreement and base rate increase preconditions. At present time, the Commission has received the completed IRP. Now, that's one of the preconditions. The Commission has not received any evidence that WAPA has complied by submitting an executed lease extension for Unit 25, not more than 1 year, an executed lease Unit 26 with a notice to proceed, and executed lease/purchase of 3 7 MW Wartsila units, and the order that WAPA shall issue an initial RFP to procure additional generation as described in the IRP.
Governor Kenneth Mapp submitted to Senate President Myron Jackson the proposed bill known as the Virgin Islands Timeshare Act. He stated the bill is a product of a cooperative effort between the government of the Virgin Islands and the timeshare industry, and has been crafted to benefit the government, the timeshare industry, and the timeshare owners in equal measure. Timeshare units host over 100,000 guests per year in the Virgin Islands, and these visitors contribute a significant amount of revenue to our economy, he says, during what is normally a week-long stay. There is currently no comprehensive regulatory regime governing the ownership and use of timeshare units, and the growth of the timeshare industry has created a significant strain on the tax assessor's office. The Lieutenant Governor has acquired 2 additional staff members to field the hundreds of telephone calls from the timeshare owners who have many questions. The number of tax invoices has more than doubled and is growing. According to Governor Mapp, the tax assessor's office needs a software upgrade to modernize the management and collections process. This bill addresses both of these issues by enacting a modern timeshare statute and also streamlines procedures, improves tax collection, and reduces the strain on the judicial and executive branches of government. Governor Mapp said, accordingly, I ask that you consider the bill carefully and act upon it promptly as our territory charters towards further economic growth and financial stability and sustainability. Turning to the courts, on February 2nd, District Court Judge Curtis Gomez sentenced Samantha Joseph, 25, of St. Thomas, to 3 years and 5 months imprisonment and 3 years of supervised release for conspiracy to commit Hobbs Act robbery. Judge Gomez also ordered Joseph to perform 400 hours of community service and pay a $100 special assessment. According to the court records, on September 29th, Joseph pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit Hobbs Act robbery. According to the plea agreement, Joseph, an employee of Signature Jewelers at the time, conspired with other individuals to rob the store. Joseph agreed to hold the door open so that her co-conspirators could gain entry on August 19, 2015. Joseph's co-conspirators entered the store and brandished a weapon to threaten and intimidate store employees. The robbers used duct tape to bind and gag the victims and then fled the store with cash and merchandise. The Honorable Sonia Sotomayor, Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States, accepted an invitation from the Honorable Wilma Lewis, Chief Judge of the District Court of the VI, to visit the territory in celebration of the Transfer Day Centennial. The first event will be held on February 7th at the Arthur Abel Complex, Frederiksted, then Wednesday, February 8th at the Cardiac Center at the Juan Louis Hospital, 6 p.m. Then on St. Thomas, Thursday, February 9th at Frenchman's Reef, 6 p.m. Earlier that day, on Thursday, a UVI convocation featuring Sotomayor from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. in the Sports and Fitness Center at the St. Thomas campus. The Honorable Sonia Sotomayor, the first U.S. Supreme Court Justice of Hispanic heritage, assumed the position of Associate Justice of the Supreme Court on August 8, 2009, after being nominated by President Barack Obama. Her previous judicial appointments were on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, from 1998 to 2009, and the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York from 1992 to 1998. Women striving for success will be hosting their induction ceremony at Havana 9's Yacht Haven Grand at 6 p.m. on Friday, February 16th. Mark it on your calendar. At this year's ceremony, 8 women will be inducted. The featured guest speaker is Brianne Beatty, founder and president of Vine Yacht Charters. The organization will also present its calendar of events, which include networking and financial empowerment opportunities, and of course plans for its signature annual conference. The calendar will include fun and exciting planned activities. The founder and president is Senator Jeanette Millen-Young. Women Striving for Success is a community of women business owners, entrepreneurs, and professionals supporting each other for successful development and enrichment. To attend this event, you must RSVP no later than Monday, February 13th. At the address right there, womenstrivingforsuccess@gmail.com, or call 690-9737. Virgin Islands Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett met with congressional leadership and White House administration officials this week, as we shared. She met with House Speaker Paul Ryan Tuesday, also took the time to discuss the Virgin Islands' current fiscal issues and legislation she and other territorial delegates have introduced in the current Congress that will help correct some of those issues. The second-term Congresswoman noted in her meeting with the Speaker that although the Virgin Islands has a higher debt ratio per capita than Puerto Rico, its bond obligations are well secured from specific pledged and segregated revenue streams. Plaskett also stressed the importance of Congress fully and fairly considering its constitutionally prescribed responsibilities to the territories. Well, meanwhile, President Donald Trump's busy first 2 weeks in office have included a number of policy changes on the international stage, and we are getting some inside information on just how the commander-in-chief will tackle some of the biggest foreign policy challenges the country faces. Diane Gallagher joins us from Washington with more.
The world is in trouble, but we're going to straighten it out, okay? That's what I do. I fix things. We're going to straighten it out.
President Donald Trump's strategy to fix the world is in the spotlight after reports of a contentious call with a normally reliable ally. A source tells CNN that on Saturday, President Trump objected to an agreement over refugees with Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull. That agreement, made under the Obama administration, would send 1,250 refugees currently in Australian detention centers to the U.S. Sources say Trump called it a bad deal and abruptly ended the call.
A previous administration does something, you have to respect that. But you can also say, why are we doing this? That's why we're in the jams that we're in.
Republican Senator John McCain disagrees.
This, in my view, was an unnecessary and frankly harmful open dispute.
Trump also held a call with Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto. A transcript shows that Trump offered to help with, quote, tough hombres, saying Mexico had not done a good enough job dealing with drug cartels.
When you hear about the tough phone calls I'm having, don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. They're tough. We have to be tough. It's time we're going to be a little tough, folks.
Trump's tough talk also extends to Iran. He tweeted that the country is, quote, on notice after a recent ballistic missile test launch. An Iranian senior advisor responded by saying the country will vigorously continue with its missile activity. In Washington, I'm Diane Gallagher.
Keeping our eye on the economy, scooter maker Vespa is now getting into the robot business. The Italian company is launching a Boston-based division called Piaggio Fast Forward. Its first creation is Gita, a robot designed to carry your groceries or other items. It can also follow a cyclist or jogger. It's unclear when Gita will be available for purchase or how much one is worth. But Piaggio Fast Forward says it plans to test Gita with businesses later this year. Let's take a look at the New York Stock Exchange. At the stock market watch, the Dow down 6, NASDAQ down 6 as well, S&P 500 up 1. Coming up on NEWS2, the latest on the Department of Health's Howard Complex outage. Plus, it's Black History Month. We test your Black history knowledge. Do you know why or how Black History Month began? That's coming up. Welcome back. Every February, we celebrate Black History Month. And here's a little refresher on the history of Black History Month. The story began in 1915, half a century after the 13th Amendment abolished slavery in the United States. That September, the Harvard-trained historian Carter G. Woodson and the prominent minister Jesse E. Moreland founded the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History, an organization dedicated to researching and promoting achievements by Black Americans and other peoples of African descent. Negro History Week in 1926 began. The event inspired schools and communities nationwide to organize local celebrations. By the late 1960s, thanks in part to the Civil Rights Movement and a growing awareness of Black identity, Negro History Week had evolved into Black History Month. President Gerald Ford officially recognized Black History Month in 1976, and it's been celebrated since then. The Department of Health's Charles Howard complex on St. Croix is still experiencing some electrical issues due to Wednesday's power outage, which caused extensive damage to the transfer switch. Today, all community clients and immunization clients getting skin test results were being seen in the Department of Health's mobile unit. On Friday, the maternal health clients will be seen, and family planning clients can pick up supplies from 9 a.m. until 11 a.m., according to Department of Health's Director of Public Relations, Nicole Tyson. Here's more.
Charles Howard complex. As you can see behind me, we're using the medical van because our transfer switch blew after a power outage yesterday. Nonetheless, we are committed to seeing all clients as much as we can. Tomorrow, family planning will be operating from 9 to 11 for anyone that needs to pick up supplies. And so although we are experiencing challenges here at the Department of Health, our staff is fully committed and dedicated to provide all services as much as we can to the Virgin Islands residents. So thank you so much for being patient with us as we go through these challenges.
And just a quick addition, the WIC program will be providing services tomorrow morning for check pickups only. That's from 7:30 a.m. to 12. And also the family planning program will be providing services from 9 a.m. until 11 tomorrow for clients who need to pick up supplies. Count to keep you updated. A press conference that was scheduled with the senior leadership team of the Schneider Regional Medical Center to provide information on the current financial challenges faced by SRMC and the actions that will be put in place to address these challenges. That was scheduled for this morning. It has been postponed. It was postponed. And according to a release, it's postponed until further notice. Be sure to comment too. We will keep you updated. The Virgin Islands Vigilant Guard Region 2 senior leadership discussion, as we shared, was held at the Sugar Bay Resort and Spa as a premiere to the final planning for Vigilant Guard 2017. Local and federal agencies gathered on St. Thomas Tuesday, January 31st for a discussion on the state of emergency preparedness in preparation for an upcoming territorial exercise. Participants represented over 20 local agencies along with federal partners, including FEMA, NORTHCOM, and the Virgin Islands National Guard. The intent of the discussion was to form and strengthen relationships among civilian and federal partners, share best practices, identify gaps, and discuss approaches to overcoming complex problems.
I thank you for that, and thank you for bringing your staff as well. And Colonel Mann, my G3, and Lieutenant Calwood and Douglas, their assignment for the last year and a half has been just to work Vigilant Guard, because for us, failure is not an option. So we put whatever resources we need to ensure that the only outcome at the end of this exercise is success. So I thank you all for your support. I thank you for being excited. And as the governor said in the State of the Territory last night, you see us all around doing our due. Don't get excited. It's just being prepared. So thank you so very much.
Well, in collaboration with the Virgin Islands Housing Finance Authority, the Department of Human Services Head Start program, they're inviting the public to a 2-hour workshop on home ownership. This event, which focuses on the needs of those seeking their first home, that will be held on Monday, February 6th at the Head Start Sugar Estate Complex, starting at 9 a.m. Acting Commissioner Felicia Blyden said workshops like these are very helpful for those who are wanting to own homes but not sure what steps to take. Many organizations such as World Development, First Bank, Banco Popular, and VI Housing Authority, they have been invited to present at this workshop. Those interested must register. Call Ms. Lewis at 340-774-2449. Downtown Revitalization, Inc. is proud to present a pre-Valentine's Art on the Town, Saturday, February 4th, from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. They say come out for a day of art and creative enjoyment that aims to bring out the island's local and visiting art lovers to experience some of the best creativity St. Thomas has to offer. Festivities begin again at 11 a.m. and last through 7 p.m. Stop by favorite galleries, art jewelers, and shops featuring the merchandise from around the globe. Here's more.
You know, this event is to celebrate the arts. The first events we did was just the visual arts. This time we're going to have the performing arts, and we're going to have children much more involved this time. We're having chalk sidewalk art. We're having puppet shows. We're having storytelling. We're going to have galleries. There will be a map that will show you all of the venues which can be picked up at any of the locations. You can really start by parking in Fort Christian parking lot and then going into Zora's, which is the #1 stop, pick up your map and then follow your map. If you prefer to park on the apron on Waterfront, you can do that as well. And you can start at the other end, which is Gallery St. Thomas, and pick up maps there. So it's really free and easy. There are many wonderful stores that are participating: Little Switzerland, DI, Diamonds International, Precious Jewels, all these other people who are really patrons of the arts and are participating in this to support our local artists.
We will share more about that event on tomorrow's newscast. Well, now that Love City Live is over in St. John, many are headed back to the States, island, or just back to work. The event drew many visitors, and the events began last Thursday. The entertainment event of the year on St. John included a whole weekend of beach, music, boating, and more. There was an incredible lineup of renowned reggae artists. Events kicked off Thursday with a VIP get-together. The all-white beach party on Saturday was Reggae in the Ruins, featuring Dwayne Stevenson. And on Sunday, the action was on the sea. Many boaters lined up for a big party, the Powerboat Party. And then, of course, Monday, it was called Back to Reality Day. Well, more than 200 women and girls hit the pavement last Sunday, joining in sisterhood to walk, jog, and run the 35th anniversary of the Women's Jogger Jam, held by the St. Thomas Association of Road Runners and sponsored by the Fruit Bowl. The Fruit Bowl donates an extra $5 for each finisher to benefit the Family Resource Center. St. Thomas's top road racer, Ruth Ann David, led the field to finish 12:42. Her daughter, Shia, was closest challenger, finishing in 13:25, first in her age group. The chorus loops twice around the Schneider Regional Medical Center before finishing in front of the Fruit Bowl in the Wheatley Shopping Center. Evelyn Woods was first of the teenagers to cross the line at a time of 16:18. Ali Rex led the 20-somethings in 18:25, and Andia Chavez led the 30 to 39 group in 15:33. Jenny Martin was first in the 40 to 49 group in 14:06, while Kristen McConnell running the course in 16 minutes 30. Diane Stallma ran 18:42 to outpace the other 60-year-olds. Congratulations to all the Jogger Jam racers for a well-worthy event. Stick around, your News2 AccuWeather forecast comes your way next.
Taking a look at our current satellite, continuing to see the remnants of a cold front pushing down across the Bahamas. Now, not quite going to reach the Central Caribbean. If we take a look at our satellite, what we're seeing, just that continued strong to moderate trade wind flow pattern. And that's what brought us a little bit of those spottier showers, heavier downpours across Puerto Rico. Now, that's our current radar. Earlier today, they were across the Virgin Islands, and that is what brought us some of those showers as well. Taking a look at our current satellite, well, as far as our water moisture goes, not a ton of moisture in the air with these easterlies. However, we are seeing those little pockets of stronger precipitation there. So throughout tonight, we're more so looking at partly cloudy conditions, not quite going to be seeing any heavier downpours. 73 degrees for our low. Working our way into tomorrow out towards St. John. Now with this easterly trade wind flow pattern, obviously we can't rule out those chances of passing showers. 84 degrees for our high in St. John. This is also going to extend into St. Thomas as well, with a shower in spots, and also down into St. Croix. Now, as we take a look out on the waters for the Atlantic side, small craft use caution out there as we do see these easterlies just toss up our waves a little bit, up to 4 to 7 feet, winds on the east 10 to 15 knots, gusts up to 20. And that's the same story as we head out towards the Caribbean side of things as well. That small craft using caution throughout tomorrow, with those easterlies 10 to 15 knots and waves up to 7 feet. A look at our extended forecast shows us sticking with that trade wind flow pattern there. We will have just a slight uptick in moisture heading over the weekend, so a better chance of seeing a couple of showers moving on in for our Saturday. Sunday, not going to be too bad of a day, a little bit more sunshine out there, but as we head back into our Monday and to our Tuesday, that's where we'll start to see another chance for just a couple more showers around the area on our Monday and Tuesday. Highs throughout the early week, while we're looking to sit into the mid to lower 80s. Back to you, Sandy.
Thank you for that. Let's look at our News 2 weather picture. A historic picture there by Demario Obeas of Ricardo Richards Elementary School. Looks like they fought in Christiansted. Demario, thank you for that. We see you included some clouds and a little bit of sprinkles to cool things off. Then send us your News 2 weather picture to the address on the screen. Be sure to include the information we need, and then tune in to see it right here on News 2. That's all for now. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a wonderful evening.